There's a dark power in this world, a forbidden trade many dare to make, swapping their souls for a promise of everything they desire. It's called raising the little demon. You nurture a newborn soul, one untouched by the world, feeding it with fresh blood and the bottomless greed of your own heart. In return, it promises you wealth, power, the downfall of your enemies, ... everything. But its hunger is endless, and the final toy it demands is your life. I know this because I once nurtured one, and now I am paying the price. My breathing is a frantic, trembling rhythm in the pitch-black room. The air is thick, cloying with the smell of wilting flowers and a sweet, putrid stench like honey mixed with rotting flesh. Each gasp echoes off the cold concrete walls, sounding like a slow-motion countdown. I'm sitting cross-legged on the floor, before a small, black wooden table. On it, a single, deep red candle sputters and flickers wildly, casting grotesque shadows that writhe on the walls like skeletal hands, beckoning me closer to my doom. Before the candle sits a wax doll, no bigger than a newborn baby. Its head is covered in coarse black threads for hair. Its eyes are just two deep black beads, absorbing all light, all hope. The body is crudely molded, scarred with the imprints of desperate fingerprints, and wrapped in a tattered red cloth, stained a dark, rusty color, like old, dried blood. I force myself to take a deep breath. That sickly sweet scent fills my lungs, making my head spin, my vision swim. My hand, trembling uncontrollably, grasps a sharp, gleaming razor blade. With a small, sharp cut on my middle finger, a warm drop of red blood wells up. I hold my finger over the doll's open mouth. The sound of the blood dripping. Plink ... plink ... double. Quotes echoes in the oppressive silence, like the fateful ticking of a clock that has long run out of time. I offer this. My voice is a hoarse, ragged thing, a sound I barely recognize as my own. Please accept it and grant me what I desire. With a shaking hand, I place a small tin toy on the Tabola little tank I stole from my rival as child. I whisper his name, a venomous curse I've held in my heart for years. Ruined his work. I hiss into the darkness, tear his family apart. The candle flame suddenly leaps and dances violently. The shadows writhe as if they're alive. A bone-chilling cold seeps into the room, into my very marrow, and my body starts to shake. I know it has arrived. A shrill, piercing whisper enters my mind, not through my ears, but from somewhere deep inside my own consciousness. It's a voice of promises, wealth, power. The utter collapse of my enemy's butt hidden beneath it all is a palpable, insatiable hunger. And then, everything began to happen exactly as I wished. My rival was plagued by misfortune. Contracts were lost overnight. His company, once a titan, began to crumble. Then one day, his son, the little boy whose toy I stole, fell gravely ill. The doctors were helpless. The boy burned with a fever that wouldn't break, screaming in the middle of the night, as if he were seeing unspeakable horrors in the dark. His wife, driven to complete despair, drove her car straight off a cliff. A horrible, tragic end. I got everything I wanted. My career soared, wealth poured in from every direction. But the joy was fleeting, hollow. The whispers in my head grew louder, clearer, a constant companion. I'd hear them in board meetings. During tense negotiations, I'd hear a cold, cruel laugh whenever I read about another person's tragedy in the news. Its hunger was growing. At first, a few drops of blood from my fingertip were enough, but soon it demanded more. The cuts had to be longer, the blood fresher, warmer, and then even blood wasn't enough. It wanted fresh milk mixed with the ashes of rare, exotic leaves. Then it wanted new toys, not just any toys, but the most beloved possessions of other children, stolen from their beds while they slept. Each time I complied, the wax doll seemed to grow more ... alive. Its black bead eyes seemed to hold a malevolent intelligence, and its blood-stained lips would curve into a sinister smile that perfectly mimicked my own. The nightmares started soon after. I'd see myself in a room identical to mine, but darker, colder. In the corner, a small shadow would be crouched, sobbing pitifully. When it turned to face me, itad. No face hust. A smote pale expanse of skin. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, but the sound of its crying would linger in my ears for hours. Night after night, the shadow in my dreams crept closer. Its cries started to blend with the whispers, creating a maddening, chaotic symphony inside my head. I couldn't sleep. My eyes became sunken pits in my skull, my nerves stretched to their breaking point. I began to see things when I was awake, things others couldn't see. Tiny, grasping hands reaching out from under my bed. Distorted, mocking faces in mirrors, the soft patter of footsteps following me down empty hallways. It was real. It was no longer just a spirit in my mind. It was manifesting in my world. And tonight is the night I cannot escape. The red candle finally sputters and dies, plunging the room into a darkness so thick and icy, it feels like a physical weight. The sweet scent is gone, replaced by the raw stench of fresh blood and the sour temps of spoiled milk. The whispers have vanished. The silence that remains is more terrifying than any sound. From the darkest corner of the room, a sound begins. Click, click. It's a small, sharp noise, like a child's fingernails tapping on wood. Slowly, deliberately, it's getting closer. I curl into a ball on the floor, clutching my head, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. It stops right in front of me. An aura of cold radiates from it, so intense it feels like it's freezing my blood. I slowly, fearfully lift my head. It's no longer a wax doll. Standing before me is a pale child, its skin flawless, wearing a crimson cloak identical to the doll's tattered wrapping. But its face, it has no eyes, just two black, empty sockets, leaking a thick, brown fluid that reeks of rot. And it's smiling, a smile that stretches its mouth unnaturally wide, revealing rows of jagged, black teeth like those of some ancient beast. It speaks, but its voice is inside my mind. Hungry. I am hungry. I scrambled backward until my back hits the cold, hard wall. What? What do you want? I choke out. I gave you everything. Blood, toys, all of it. Its lipless mouth stretches even wider, baring those terrifying teeth. Hungry, want, new toy. What toy? I plead, tears of sheer terror streaming down my face. Anything. I'll buy it for you. Tell me. Its tiny, pale hand raises and a long, black fingertip points directly at my chest. The toy. Inside. It whispers in my skull. Give me your heart. A scream rips through my mind, but no sound comes out. The darkness crushes in, suffocating me. A cold, sinewy hand wraps around my throat. The breath of death and curdled milk washes over my face. Give it to me. A tearing, unimaginable pain explodes in my chest. I feel the cold pierce my skin, hear the crack of my own ribs as my flesh is torn apart. I can't even cry out. The tiny hand vanishes into my chest cavity, and an empty, icy void spreads through me. It withdraws its hand. In its grasp, it holds something still pulsing, still bleeding. My heart. It lifts the organ to its monstrous mouth and bites down. The crunch of teeth on muscle and bone echoes in the silence, a wet, chewing sound that will haunt eternity. Blood sprays everywhere, covering its pale face and crimson cloak in a fresh, warm coat of red. The darkness finally swallows me whole. My last sensation is not the pain, but a shrill, ecstatic laugh echoing inside my skull. Then, eternal darkness. All that remains is the stench of blood and the sound of the final toy being devoured. Thank you for watching. If you were captivated by this tale of terror, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, be careful what you wish for.